Hey Mom, what day is it?
August the 30th?
Fuck! Okay, let's get started.
Tomorrow.
And finally posted, thank God. Oh, hi. I didn't expect you to be here this early. That's kinda weird. Anyway, welcome to the first anniversary of the first video I ever posted on YouTube. It's the MechWarrior 2 video, and currently is the highest viewed video on my channel. Looking back on it now, I can easily say it was a first video. I've learned a lot of new things every time I post new things, and I try to improve myself, you know, trying to make things a little bit better than last time. So with that said, and since you know this is my first anniversary, why the fuck am I reviewing Muppets Party Cruise? Well, let me explain. Ah, the Muppets. What can you say that hasn't been said already? They're absolutely hilarious and extremely memorable. But I wasn't really that big of a fan, at least when I was little. Come on! Unless you count Sesame Street as part of the Muppets, otherwise I didn't even care for them when I was little. I know they're somewhat popular now with the new movies and all, but back in the early 2000s, I barely knew anything about them. Only thing I really knew about them was Kermit and Muppet Babies for some odd reason. I eventually saw some of the movies, but back then, nothing. That was until I played this game. It was years ago when I first played the Sony PS2, and there was a shit ton of awesome games to play on this system. I can't recall the first game I ever played on it, but I do have some fond memories of playing certain games when I was little. As for now, my PS2 collection is still growing, and I hope to find even more games I haven't played before. But if I were looking for a game that I only played when I was little, and I haven't played in years, it would be this game. I remember playing this game a lot with some very good friends of mine. So let's hope this game still holds up today. So in the opening, the Muppets are talking about what happened on their cruise. They were supposed to go to first class, but instead got tickets to go to Deck 1.
You bought tickets for Deck 1?
Sí, Deck 1, primero. First. This is the first class you wanted, okay?
First class, Pepe, not first deck.
You know, I am not sure I appreciate your tone, Carmen. First class, first deck. What is the difference, okay?
So instead of, I don't know, buying better tickets, they make the best of it by playing mini-games and somehow gets to the top deck. Yeah, the story sucks, but who cares about the story when you're playing a party game? After you put your name in and pick your characters, you then choose your level. You can unlock more levels by unlocking mini-games. More on that later. So what you're mainly doing throughout the game is walking around the deck and going door to door to play mini-games. If you win the minigame, you get a party favor. And if you get a certain amount of these that are the same color, then you win. In each level, they raise the amount of party favors you have to collect, making the game go on longer. Now, how you move around is not dependent on dice or roulette wheel, but a pinball machine. Yeah, that's kinda strange, but it works perfectly fine. The only problem I have with this is the CPU. The computer takes their sweet-ass time walking around. And if the computer takes a long turn, grab something to drink, and wait. Now there is a way to make the players move faster with Maniac mode, where the computer moves the characters like they're Speedy Gonzales. I mean, just look at this! Now besides party favors, you can also pick up credits that will help you in many ways. You can give yourself extra points after a minigame, which can possibly change the result of who would win. You can buy party favors with auctions, or you can use the ATM to buy other players' party favors. In each level, they try to add new things, like the aforementioned ATM and the Hypo Wheel. But I don't usually use these often. There's also other Muppet characters that could come on deck. They could give you extra credits, or you could possibly lose a turn. Alright, now let's get into the actual meat of the game. The minigames! There's about 30 minigames on the entire disc. Like I said before, you have to unlock minigames to unlock the new levels by using your party favors to buy minigames. Now you don't have to go into a level. In fact, you could choose short crews, where you could just play the minigames on their own. There's definitely variation throughout each game, having different settings and different ways to play. Although some of the games are very simple to play, like Tug of War for example. They do try to keep the ship theme, but they eventually give up and they give us games that are set in the desert, a mine, and even space for some reason. Wait, what? Quoting Linkara here, how did you get into space? The only problem I have with these games in general is that these games were made for multiple people to play. So if you're playing alone like me, it's not as fun. Although most of the games are enjoyable, this game kinda reminds me of Mario Party. Okay, I know I'm late for saying this, but yes, this is a ripoff of Mario Party. But you know, that's not a bad thing. I've said this before. Just because something is a ripoff doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. At least for games. Sure, it's unoriginal, but that doesn't mean that it could be enjoyable. And for this game's sake, it did things a little different so it could stay somewhat fresh. Now let's get into the technical. As for the level design, all the levels seem to be the same. The only major difference for each deck is the size and the colors. Other than that, they're exactly the same. The graphics look okay sometimes and kind of bad at other times. The same applies to the animations on the models. I mean, just look at this. All they're doing is waving their heads side to side. And this. God, that's bad. The music for the game is okay. I do like some of the tracks and it definitely fits the game, but nothing memorable. And as for the characters' voices, they were done by the actual Muppet voice actors, and for the most part, they're fucking hilarious. For example,
You tell him I'm bitter.
Shuffle chalk.
Thanks. I need some me time, you know?
so, overall, what do I give this? I did have a nice time playing this game. Although yes, this game was made for multiplayer instead of single player, I could still call this a fun time. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. Although this game is average, I could still find this to be an enjoyable game. You know, when you haven't played a certain game in a while, and you could find something awesome, or you could find a disappointment. For this game's sake, I think I found a nice little gem that you guys should check out. I mean, it's not like it's dirt cheap or anything. Thank you guys for watching, and let's hope for another awesome year in this channel. Oh, and by the way, be sure to check on this channel next month. You might see some videos about a certain blue hedgehog. See you soon.